You did it! You finished the Architecture 1005 class. Are you pumped and jazzed? Because I'm pumped and jazzed. You're basically awesome now because you know cool things that a lot of other people don't know yet. Of course, you can help them learn it if you let them know about this class, but until then, just be confident in your awesomeness. But although you are done with the class, you're not really done. You've just begun. Because part of my motivation for teaching these classes is that I want more peers. I want more people who know what I know. And ultimately, I want people who are more than peers. I want people who are better than me and go off and do cool things that I can check out and say, hey, that's cool. So if that's you, if you're going to do cool things in the future, great, you're off to a great start because it doesn't take that much to exceed me in RISC-V. It's relatively new, and I'm relatively new to it. So with just a little bit of extra effort, you can easily exceed me. Perhaps you want to go off and learn about operating systems internals and make an Architecture 2005 class. In any case, let's see what we learn in the class. We said that we were going to cover the basic RISC-V 32-bit and 64-bit ISAs, and we did indeed pick up all 40 basic 32-bit instructions and the extra 15 bonus instructions from RV64I. But above and beyond that, we also pulled down some multiplies and divides, pseudo instructions, and compressed instructions. So we learned a whole lot of instructions in this class. But as we saw, they're mostly all simple variants of each other, permutations on whether an instruction takes an immediate as an argument versus registers. And so they're not that hard. There are only sort of, 9 major groupings of things for us to learn about. And so we saw in the bomb lab, if you didn't take the bomb lab already, you definitely should. Don't shortchange yourself. Make sure you do the whole bomb lab. But in the bomb lab, the statistics tell us that only 53 assembly instructions covers every single instruction in the entire big old binary. And if you only learned 25, you would still be able to understand almost all of the code. And with a mere scant 10, you would get 2/3 of the code. So these are the outcomes that I promised you at the beginning of the class, and hopefully you see that I've delivered on all of them. At the end of the class, you should know the RISC-V general purpose registers. Well, that's easy, X0 through X31, and their alternative ABI names, the things like stack pointer, frame pointer, the argument registers, the temporary registers, and so forth. You should understand the local variables, frame pointers, and return addresses, which we saw repeatedly getting put onto the stack and removed when functions would return. You should understand the function calling conventions, which again is pretty simple. Just argument registers 0 through 7 for the first 8 arguments, and stick it on the stack after that. And the return value is returned in the A0 argument 0 register, or if you had a 128-bit example, as we saw in the multiplies, you could also have the argument 0 and argument 1 to pass back a 128-bit value. Then we have the being comfortable writing code in C. Well, I can't help you with the writing code in C. That part you were supposed to have come to the class with already, but reading the assembly and stepping through the consequent disassembly, that is a result of compiling some small C program. Hopefully we did that so many times that it's just old hat by now. Also, feeling comfortable reading the fun manual on your own. Me personally, I love to read the fun manuals, and hopefully you'll enjoy it as well. Because at the end of the day, you do need to read the fun manual to know the truth. You can Google things, you can look at my simplification, but you really need to read the manuals, be able to write some of the instructions yourself just to confirm that what you think you read is what's actually going on. And finally, being able to do the bomb lab, right? That is one of the big takeaways of this class. You only truly are going to absorb stuff when you actually use it, and figuring out the answers to the binary bomb lab is the best way to really drill this stuff into your head. It's foundational, and it really makes it stick, in my experience. So what's next for you learners of RISC-V assembly? Well, that depends on what particular course you've charted in this game of life. Maybe you're a reverse engineer and you want to go off and find some targets to reverse engineer. Maybe you have a platform that you already know uses RISC-V and you want to go off and exploit it. Or maybe you just want to improve your software development and debugging skills. I'll provide some pointers after this video on the OST2 class website for different places people can go to continue their education. And with that, I appreciate you spending your time on this class, and until next time, I'll see you around OST2.